Hi, it's Amanda, your art teacher, here today to tell you how to observe so that you can see something and then turn it into a work of art. Okay, so this is a photograph that I took and I went ahead and I enhanced the colors. This is something I like to do. I like to paint from a photograph, generally something that I've photographed, but sometimes I will paint something that I make up in my mind. Those are the two main sources of inspiration, I think, are from your mind or from a reference. Nature, a portrait of a buddy, etc. So this video is about how to observe when you're painting from a reference. So this, what is this? This is an idea. Mostly it's a peach sunset. Now, how do I get from peach sunset to creating the peach sunset up here? And I'll tell you, it's through observation. Um, when you study art, you learn that there are different elements and different components of art. And I talked about color in my last video. This video, I want to tell you that yes, you do want to look at what colors you see. Here's purple, here's orange, there's white and yellow, two different shades of brown here. And then there are lines, different lines. You see, I can see that there are downward strokes right here. And then the lines here are kind of like curly and wavy from the clouds. About here, we have what will translate to about an inch of ocean and waves crashing. Then I notice that there's a line here and that it goes diagonal down. So I've identified different components. And what I've done is the main idea of this is a pink or peach sunset. So I went ahead and I did my underpainting in vermilion. I wanted to solidify the idea of peach sunset onto my canvas. So I try to start big with what I notice first. And I'll do as much as I can blocking in the color and then usually one layer is not enough, so I have to go back and do layer after layer of what I'm observing until I'll get the final result that I'm looking for. So, yeah, when you observe, it's good to look at your photograph and take notes on what you're seeing. I find that taking notes helps really to solidify what you're gonna do. So let's see. Just identify what you see. Everyone has a different perspective, and no two people can really paint the same thing, and that's fine. So let's see, I had notes for this, and we'll see what I can tell you. when I did my underpainting, I wanted to get the basic shape down. And when I painted the underpainting, I created the downward strokes that I saw here. I feel like being in the center of the painting, these lines really do shape the whole painting. So just to create a guide for myself to try to simplify this process, in the vermilion, I created the downward strokes, and they come to about here. And I don't know if you can see, but from here down, I painted horizontally because that's the shape from here down. And I know the reflection is diagonal, but water is still horizontal. It doesn't tilt unless it's like a waterfall and it's coming off of the canvas. But even here, I will paint my reflection completely horizontally. And yeah. I think I've already told you my observations that I wrote down about the different colors of clouds. Here will be white and yellow, and then we'll blend that up. And then if you notice, the water, it's not blue. I think it's a grayish green with orange in it. So that's what I'll do. And then the water is kind of the same light purple that's up here. Really pretty. And then there's some pebbles, and then there's rocks right here. And then I will show you how from this that I will make my palette. Okay, so I got these really pretty metallic oil paints for this painting. So if I think I can use it, I'll probably want to put some of it on my palette. Bob Ross starts his paintings in the background. He will do the sky first, then he will do a layer of mountains or hills or even really far off trees. And then he works his way to the front, and he'll put the trees and the bushes or whatever's in the foreground, he'll put that in last. Now, after watching his videos enough, it really helped me because sometimes I'll be painting and then I'll be lost. I'll be like, where should I work? What part should I work on now? And you don't want to get stuck when you're painting. So now I know, even if I've already worked on this, and even if I've already done some things that are in the foreground, if I'm like, oh, where should I work? I can always start in the back, work forward. So if there's a little bit of work to do on the clouds, I'll do it. And then it'll just fall into place. And maybe I'll decide that my ocean here needs another layer before I add the white. And that's a good guide. So for the sand colors, I know that I'm going to need a light brown and a dark brown. And if you remember my color video, I talked about how I like to mix colors. I have yellow ochre, and I have this titanium buff. And I think titanium buff plus some raw umber will give me the colors that I need for the sand. And I have Caucasian flesh tone. See, it's like a peach. But I always find the colors straight out of the tubes, they're just not complex enough for me. For whatever reason, I like to complicate things that do not need to be complicated, but that's a whole other conversation. So I will probably use this flesh tone with a little bit of cadmium yellow, and then I'll probably, for these beautiful rich peach, I will probably use a little bit of light red mixed in. For over here, I don't know if you can see, but there's a little bit of bright yellow surrounding this stark white component right here. So I'll use a little bit of cadmium lemon. And where's my white? I have my white. Now, I mentioned in my first video the Bob Ross Liquid White oil paint. Now that I've unified my canvas with the idea of peach sunset, I noticed that this is a lot lighter. This color here is a lot lighter than what I have here. Now I'm going to take this liquid white and I'm going to put a very, very thin layer across the top half of my painting. So pretty much the horizon line and up, I'm going to soften with this, and it will make everything blend easier, and it will make it creamier and just add depth to your painting the more layers you do. And then I think that's it for this video. I just wanted to teach you how to observe, how to pick apart what you see, and then you just block it in. It's that simple. You just take, if you see a line, draw a line. If you see a color, mix the color and place it where it goes. Yeah, I think that's it for this video, and I will start putting my paint on the canvas. And like I mentioned, I will start probably with these clouds, but then I'll just try to get the basics down. I do a lot of layers because it's pretty rare that I get something right on the first try, and I want to get better at it, so hopefully I will. But thank you, and I'll see you soon.